It's a fun watch if you know what they
were doing. Yeah,
like
but without, if I just showed you this on a whim, like you'd be like, "What the fuck did I just watch?"
Yeah,
you're like, "But it was all shot in Disney. Did you not notice?" And you're like, "Sure."
Yeah, they were. Wait, what? Why? Like, for the challenge, it's a write-off.
This movie's a write-off.
Yeah.
It should be called Escape from the IRS.
Man getting bit by an alligator scream.
Swallow this.
Welcome back. Hope you've been enjoying the podcast. If it's the first time here, thanks for stopping by. We're going to be silly talking about movies, but we're also going to give fun facts. And if you don't like this podcast, you're wrong and stupid. I think we can all agree on that, right?
Yeah. If you don't like
us, a little defensive. I'm willing to hear them out.
I'm not.
Depends on the criticism,
To be fair,
if you're just like, I don't like it, then
Sean gets most of the criticism.
Am I wearing a hat?
Because apparently you can comment on Spotify.
That's so funny.
So, as usual, if you want to harass anyone, go tell Sean he's a fucking idiot or whatever.
Yeah, well, because I realized it's because I put a Q&A in there. It said, what do you think about this episode? And the guy was like, well, I'll tell you what I didn't like.
He's like, I didn't like that fucking guy, Sean Dolan.
Not exactly a Q, but okay. The Q&A.
Here's a question. Who gives you the right?
It's a great point, Sean.
Yeah.
Well, today we're talking about two movies that are taking place. It's the summer, so we wanted to make sure that we got some summer vacation movies in there. And these are two movies that are perfect for summer vacation because Ray and I are from Orlando area. Ray's from Orlando. I'm from Daytona Beach. So.
Yeah, this is Florida episode, baby. This is my hometown.
And of course, Sean is is Florida by proxy from just hanging out with us too much.
Yeah.
And you even went and did some shows in Orlando.
That's true.
How'd they go?
Oh, they were fun, but I wouldn't. I'm not gonna call myself Floridian.
It's fair.
Sean has family in Florida, though, so it kind of
counts.
Yeah, but they're from
Florida,
from South Florida.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry. So I can't hate on Florida.
No, go ahead.
I just think it was all right. It was all right.
Okay. Anyway,
I don't want to go there.
All right. Well, then fuck Sean. We're representing Central Florida.
Yeah, Central Florida, baby.
Both of these movies take place and were shot in Orlando, Florida, as well as a little bit of
Disneyland too.
A minor amount of Hollywood film locations.
Yep.
But the bulk of the plot takes place in, and the movie takes place in Orlando, Florida. So, this is our little love letter to home,
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. So, our first movie that we're going to be talking about, we're doing two movies, and both of these movies, first-time directors. Both of them never directed again after these movies.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes a whole lot of fucking sense.
Makes so much sense because these are going to be juicy.
These
are going to be real
bad.
juicy. And like we said, both shot and took place in Orlando for the bulk of it. So
I like how you're saying with pride, but these are two movies that the directors never directed again. You're like, Florida.
No, that's not the Florida. We're saying it's juicy that these are both so fucking goofy.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what comes out of Florida. A bunch of freaking goofiness.
They're not from Florida. These are Hollywood guys that went to Florida and tried to do some shit and couldn't do it right.
Yeah.
Hire me and fucking Ray.
Because they didn't know Florida enough. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
All right.
Just
Just because a movie takes place in Florida doesn't mean it's bad. The Florida Project.
Yeah.
That's what I always thought.
That's a fucking tearjerker. It's a good movie.
And also, just because you go do some shit in Florida doesn't mean that you're like, there's a lot of comics from Florida, and then there's Florida comics, and there's a big difference.
There's
which
a
one
big difference. We're Florida comics.
Gang. Anyway.
I thought you were going to say it was like a bad thing.
No, we've been in the trenches, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We fucking did the racetracks.
Yeah, we performed at the racist dive bars and the racetracks and the
what was your favorite racist dive bar?
I got told to leave Lakeland.
For his own safety.
Yeah, for my own safety.
Yeah, and I've been told to leave several locations because I was being a dick.
Yeah.
So our first movie that we're talking about today is going to be Escape from Tomorrow.
Woo!
And just to keep you around in case you don't know what that is and you're ready to leave, right after this, we're doing Jaws 3D, baby.
Yeah.
Jaws 3/3D, depending on which way you watched it. If you saw it in the 80s in a movie theater, then you saw it 3D. So
we wanted to do the 3D glasses. There's just not enough time, but it would have been fun. It would have been fun. Nothing's like some old school 3D.
Yeah.
But also, doesn't it not work right in the way you guys said?
The old ones, no. The old ones were awful, dude. Remember old 3D?
No, he's saying the way that you get it. There is a way to watch Jaws 3D, if I'm not mistaken, but we just couldn't do it fast enough.
It was too much.
Order the actual 3D copy.
Yeah.
Which we'd have to buy because they don't stream the 3D version, as far as I can find.
I'd imagine though, like they do come with the glasses when you get them.
Yeah. So our first film today is going to be Escape from Tomorrow, which was made in 2013. It is considered to be the ultimate guerrilla filmmaking movie. Shot entirely on location in Disney World in Orlando, Florida, with no one's permission.
And that's the only cool thing about this movie. It's literally the only cool thing about it.
It's not rated because it never got officially picked up by any mainstream distributors.
I wonder why.
I have a few guesses.
Directed by Randy Moore, like we said, first-time director and last-time director.
Yep.
More like Randy Less.
God damn it, son.
Randy Moore. What?
So before we get into,
you might want to change your name, idiot.
So before we get into all the fun facts and the breakdown, we're gonna let Ray go ahead and explain this movie to you, so you guys know what you're in store for, in case you haven't seen it yet.
So this is gonna be difficult.
Spoilers, heavy fucking spoilers.
Because I'm not 100% sure what I watched.
We'll help them along the way if you get
It does take place in Disney. I think they make it very clear that this is all being shot in the park, and the majority of shots are in the park.
Yeah.
There's a few off scenes that aren't. Starts off with a family in Disney. Dad's on the balcony losing his job on the last day that this family's at Disney.
Which is a rough time to find out.
Rough time to find out. Very much Midwestern dad, gonna mom, 2 kids, a boy and a girl, head out to, I think they went to Magic Kingdom first. And I could tell because, they had the Buzz Lightyear ride, and I'm pretty sure that's Magic Kingdom. The dad just starts bugging out. Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember. He starts bugging out. The first thing they do is it's a small world, and he just starts tripping balls. But they never implied that he did any drugs, but just starts tripping, starts seeing shit. The characters on It's a Small World faces start bugging out. His wife turns to him and goes, "That's not your son." His son's eyes go black like a shark. Like a shark. And then
black like a doll's eyes.
Yeah, black like a doll's eyes. And then shit just keeps escalating. But there's no coherent thing that's going on.
They don't explain.
They don't explain anything. They don't explain. And then he starts following these 2 foreign girls
that are max 15.
Yeah,
I mean maybe 15.
And then the son starts picking up on it, and he's like, "Dad, why are we following these girls?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?"
He makes his kid go on what is it? Which ride did he make him go on? He was terrified.
The People Mover.
No, remember he made him go on
Space Mountain. He made him go on Space Mountain. The kid didn't want to go to Space Mountain. He was terrified of Space Mountain. He was like, "No, Dad needs to look at these 12-year-olds, so shut your fucking mouth." And then they go and get off. The kid gets all freaked out, and then the mom's like, "What's wrong with you? What are you doing?" And then takes the boy, leaves him with the daughter. Then he meets some other foreign woman with an amulet around her neck. Cheats on his wife.
Clearly a nod to the evil queen in Snow White.
Yeah. Very. Yeah. This was like a National Lampoon's Vacation movie.
Sleeping Beauty or Snow White?
Yeah, we don't have time for bits.
You're right. No
time. You talking to the fucking microphone?
Yeah,
the mic is 3 feet away from you.
It was only
truly amazing.
It was only because I didn't want to take away from your spotlight.
And that's why you push the mic on the other side of the room.
Exactly. Continue.
Anyway,
Anyway.
I think it would be Snow White.
I think it might be Snow White or something. Yeah. But like, so cheats on his wife. The lady says, Asian men are fucking Disney princesses. Another bit that
Asian businessmen, not just random Asian men.
Oh yeah. Like Asian wealthy Asian businessmen are fucking.
It wasn't like racist.
It was, bordering, but wealthy Asian men are fucking the Disney princesses, which makes it hard for him to take his kids to see the Disney princesses, because then Asian men show up, Asian businessmen show up. It's weird. They don't really say what's going on. His daughter gets hurt, then so he goes to like a nurse, one of the Disney like first aid nurses, and then she's like, watch out for cat flu. It's going around. And then, like, he leaves, and then she starts crying inexplicably, more than likely just because, she's getting paid minimum wage, but, that's not even implied. I'm just guessing because I've worked at Disney before. And then after that, God, what the fuck happens after? Oh, you're like, what? He ended up underneath the Disney Epcot Center. Oh, because they went on Soarin'.
Yeah.
And then he lost his daughter, ended up under the Disney Epcot Center with this doctor explaining to him that that's not the real him, and that the real him is wearing a fedora and bringing his family to the hotel.
Was he really wearing a fedora?
He was really wearing a fedora. And then he escapes that guy, and then like the doctor's head gets chopped off in a doorway. And it turns out he's a robot that's like, I'm trying to help you. They don't explain any of that. Then he gets back to his wife in the Epcot Center. His wife figures out that he's like fucking like chasing down these girls. She never found out that he was cheating though. Finds out he was chasing these girls. She freaks out. Then one of the girls makes like a demon face at the wife, and then. Like, he dies of cat flu in the hotel at the end.
Which is not a real illness, I don't think.
Not a real illness. There was no explanation. Then a bunch of guys show up and give the kid a Buzz Lightyear pin while the wife is, like, crying that her husband just died from cat flu. And then they go back to, like, the footage of, like, him showing up with his family. And I don't even know what that implied. That the one who died of cat flu wasn't the real him, or is the real him just showing up? But then, like, why was there two of him, and why was one fake, and why was it?
Doesn't make a lot of sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
But it was a fun watch.
It was a fun watch. Very fun watch.
What, Sean?
At times.
I'll
tell you what wasn't fun when I was watching him chase those freaking adolescent girls around.
So weird. It was so
weird.
creepy.
Very creepy.
And then he kept making suicide jokes, that's probably my favorite thing about the movie, is he kept making these weird suicide jokes. Like, they went to play the, like, shooting game, like the shooting range games for the pellet guns that they have at some of the carnival games, and then he just puts the gun to his head and pretends to blow it off, and, like, he directs that joke to his, like, 8-year-old daughter.
And then they edit in a gun sound, because he doesn't actually, he goes, oh, like it went off, but they edited in a gun going off.
Yeah, it's so funny.
And then he looks at her, and it cuts to her not laughing, and it cuts back to him, and he goes, that's not funny. It's like, actually, it's really funny.
Yeah, and then he pretends to be dead in full, and then, like, people start freaking out, and he's like, it's just a joke,
He's floating face down in the pool, and somebody checks on him, but he's like, doesn't respond. and then they jump in to save him. It's just a joke.
That was probably the best part of the film, to be honest.
Sean, let's not be so negative. What was your favorite part of the movie? Because it was fun. I mean, there was some fun stuff.
There was some fun stuff.
I'll say for me, I love the mini Epcot head that the doctor like wraps around him. Like, like whatever money was spent on this movie beyond like paying the actors in the hotel rooms and park passes went to wrapping that fucking head around him and blowing up the Epcot ball.
Oh, yeah, they did blow up the Epcot ball. I forgot about that.
Like, he has like a nightmare sequence where like the Epcot ball, like the base explodes and it like rolls in the way and kills people. It's fucking incredible looking.
That was cool.
I had a lot of dreams about giant balls chasing me as a child, so I did kind of like.
It hit a note?
Yeah, I did.
Hit a personal note?
Was that Indiana Jones based or?
No, it was like a giant green ball of slime. Sort of like you could almost imagine the Nickelodeon slime, but it was compact and it was giant. Like, and it would like destroy gas stations and stuff. It would always chase me around the street, and sometimes it would get me, and I'd wake up.
Nice.
So I do feel connected to this movie a lot. Like when he lost his job at the beginning, I started to relate to him. But then the whole pedophile thing, and I was like, okay, you're losing me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't see myself in you anymore.
Yeah, they make it hard to root for the guy while he's stalking 15-year-old girls.
Right.
Not that he was supposed to be rooted for, but
yeah, because they do kill him at the end.
Job.
Yeah, he did lose his job,
and I feel for him.
Well, that's the thing about this movie is that, you know, part of the subplot of the whole thing is him stalking these girls, but he doesn't ever like. So the whole thing is that like all the stuff that he's seen and all the stuff that's happening is like this force outside of him that's causing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you can't blame him for that. You're like, oh, something's happening to him externally. But there's not a single moment in that movie where they ever hint that like him being obsessed with these girls is a part of it. It's like this guy is being haunted by whatever evil forces out there, and in the middle of it, he's so horned up that he's ignoring the evil to go track these two girls through the park.
Yeah, and he gets cat flu because the girl spits in his face at the end of the movie. But then it was like an abnormal amount of spit.
Yeah.
It was like she took a drink of water and like clearly spit in his face, and then they slow-mo'd it, and it was like, this looks cool.
Also, you don't know what that guy's into. He was probably like, he might have been like, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that was such a weird. It's hard to like feel for the guy while it's happening at all, because you're just like, good, kill him.
Yeah.
Like,
you're like, fuck this guy.
Listen, he was weird, and I didn't like. The movie was so edgy all the time.
Yeah, I felt like it was trying to be edgy.
It was 2013, which was the beginning of the death of edgelord stuff, or not the death, but the where that became not as cool to do. I think edgelord in general started to kind of simmer down.
Yeah, they had a run though. Were you guys ever edgelords?
What?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I used to listen to horrorcore when I was like, I don't know, like 16, 17, probably 16.
What's horrorcore?
It's rap music, if like it was like horror. And so they rap about like killing people and chopping bodies up. And
it's
stuff.
ICP, but they're not both white.
Oh.
Yeah.
But sometimes they are.
Yeah, well, ICP is horrorcore too.
Yeah, technically.
So it's like Necro. Necro's a big like horrorcore producer. And, like, some of his album covers are, like, someone playing the piano, but the piano's razor blades. Like, shit like that.
Oh, that sounds tough.
Yeah, it is pretty fucking tough. Some of it was pretty good. Some of it was really good.
Oh, I meant tough to do.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant tough, like, cool. I was like, yeah, nah, it was.
Pain in the ass, dude, playing the piano like that.
All right, let's dive into the movie.
Okay. Let's do it.
All right, well, let's do the Rotten Tomatoes scores first. We'll knock that out of the way. Critics score for Escape from Tomorrow. What do you think? Whoever wants to go first.
15.
Ooh. So 15?
Yeah.
Okay.
Percentage-wise?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
8.
8? Okay. Do you want me to do audience and then we'll do them both?
Yeah.
Okay, let's now. So you said 15 and you said 8 for critics. Okay. Now let's go for audience.
40.
Ooh, big disparity.
5
and 40.
I think the kids ate this up.
Yeah. Okay.
The audience liked it more?
Critics score 58%.
That is so
what
dumb.
the fuck?
They're wrong.
Now
they're definitely wrong.
Now, something to keep in mind, as usual, there's always issues with the way Rotten Tomatoes functions. These critic scores, a lot of these critics, since it didn't get any kind of real mass production, the press kit for this and everything probably never even went to like the New York Times or whoever.
Right.
The bulk of these critic scores are probably coming from the festivals it went to, I would assume. So 58% is pretty high. So I'm willing to bet these are almost exclusively
people they knew.
People they knew. Because it came from a legit production company. It wasn't just some people didn't throw this together.
Yeah.
A production company backed this.
Really?
That's wild.
Yeah. And the audience score, friends, 25%. So you know what?
I really undershot it.
Yeah, you guys kind of. Well, you said 5, right?
I said 5.
Yeah,
I said 4.
Yeah, I wasn't giving it any fucking chances.
Wait, so he was closer by 5? Yeah.
25.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
No,
crazy.
wait. It was 25 was the audience score? I said 40. So I was closer by.
It was honestly,
right,
I don't
yeah.
regret buying it because it was a part of the pod. But had I bought it not for the pod, I would have regretted buying it.
Dude, you're on
I
like
would
a
have been
list.
like, hell no, dude.
You're on a list
No,
for
probably.
buying that movie.
Yeah.
Disney's
The government's watching you right now.
The next time you try to go to Disney, they're like, "You can't come in. You participated."
Yeah, I'm going to be like, fine.
Well, and that's something we should immediately bring up. I'm sure everybody out there is like, immediately you want to know, how could they have gotten away with this?
Yeah.
Like, how did these people make this movie and not get the living daylights suit out of them? And as it turns out, they actually...
Stop.
What is he doing?
He's trying to lick my face.
I thought he was like attacking you. Ready to fuck somebody up, dude. As it turns out, everything that they did when they shot at Disney, it was only breaking park rules.
Yeah.
But they filmed in there. What they filmed wasn't enough to be considered actually, breaking the copyrights that have to do with Disney, because many of the characters they showed, they're so like culturally ubiquitous now that it would be you'd have a tough time in court being like, well, they showed Goofy for a minute, so that gets you sued. They're not actually saying like, look at these Disney materials, we're reusing them for our own.
Right.
Like they're in their theme park. So there was a lawyer from Columbia who said you'd be hard pressed to find a judge that would side on Disney's part in the manner of which they did this. It was pretty clear that you knew where they were, but you could not feasibly say that they were actually trying to make money off the back of Disney.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild. They like, and the thing is though, like I kind of wish Disney sued them.
Yeah. You kind of wish they got what was coming.
They don't deserve to get away with this.
Yeah, not because like the idea of the movie was cool, but also, my God, that the execution, it was just like, what is this? What am I watching?
It'd be really cool or really funny if it was just like somebody at it was like Walt Disney's great nephew, and they're like, all right, we'll just not mention that they made this, which is exactly how they handled it.
Yeah.
Instead of taking them to court or doing anything, they were like, they already knew that if they just said nothing, no one would find out about this low budget, like unheard of cast, unheard of filmmaker. Like no one was attached to this to get them anything like any kind of actual like footing.
Unheard of cast. They had Tom Cruise.
I like that though.
Look at him. There's Tom Cruise.
Oh man, when the light hits him just right at a couple of parts, he looks like Tom Cruise.
Look like
and then
Tom
when
Cruise.
you see him regular, the guy's just like, like his jaw's hanging open, and like plays a very good Midwestern bewildered.
Yeah,
yeah.
I like the way Disney handled it though. They kind of handled it like Drake allegations before Kendrick.
Yeah,
they're just like, we're just gonna ignore it.
Yeah. Drake right now is showing you what would have happened
if Disney acknowledged it. Yeah.
and then
they would have got K-Dot, dog.
And then the Escape from Tomorrow, people would be like certified pedophiles. And Disney's like, no, that's not us. We didn't do that.
Yeah, but this movie could have made such a good statement and been like good.
True, yeah. Could have made more of a point.
Yeah.
Oh, before we hop
he
into
should have stumbled on like a sex pedophile ring,
like in real life.
Yeah, like yeah. And like the funny thing about that is, well, it's not funny, but it's grossly disgusting.
It's really tragic and awful.
Yeah. That
no,
happened.
find the angle. There's something funny.
But no, every couple years, a group of Disney employees go to prison for sex trafficking.
Oh, you're
stuff.
right. That is funny.
And it's like it's just like
Wait a second, dude.
I didn't mean it as funny thing as like this is a funny thing. It was more of like funny thing, ironic thing That is what happens. And they could have explored something like that, but they decided instead to I don't know. Do drugs?
Yeah, they should have.
Dude, I don't know, dude, because there was no fucking story.
All right, now before we hop into it, let's do budget because I forgot to do that.
Let's do it.
So, what do you think we're gonna do budget box office? We'll start with budget. What do you think the budget was for this movie?
Based on tourists screaming at me because I ruined their vacation because they spent $10,000, I'm gonna say at least $10,000. So let's go with $80,000.
How much was the pass? They had an early access pass. We
or they had someone on the inside.
Yeah.
Well, they definitely, we haven't got into it yet, but they did spend. They did both California and Orlando parks. They got season
2013.
passes for everyone.
They got season passes for everyone.
Passes. So you might want to rethink.
Holy shit, dude!
I'm gonna add a zero to his and say 800,000.
Okay.
Well, because the season pass is like $400 a piece.
It's season passes for the entire cast and crew plus hotel rooms.
Ooh, and like if you're keeping them there at Disney for that long,
and they got to feed them,
and they're
feeding them Disney food,
which is expensive.
Which is so expensive. If
Oh
you've
my
never
God.
been to Disney,
dude, this cast and crew.
up.
I just feel like this was not. They didn't even care about the movie. They
Just
just wanted to
vacation.
go to Disney.
Yeah, this is all a write-off.
It's all a write-off.
Yeah, one director's like, I really want to go to Disney, but I gotta make this movie for this company because I promised them I would.
What if we shot the movie at Disney? They'll never let us do that.
The producers don't even
Who
know.
said they'll let us?
The producers don't even know. Actually, they're just like, no worries, it's a write-off.
It's
Order
a write-off.
whatever you want. We're making, this has cost $0. We're just going to write this all off. This is our first movie we've ever produced.
And their tax guys just sitting there like, I don't know what I'm like. Okay, so
he's like, I haven't been paid in 2 months. He's like, I'm going to write it off.
Yeah. Your salary's a write-off.
Did the entire cast and crew need Mickey ears?
You know they bought them.
Yeah.
You know they bought them.
You know they bought them.
All right, so what do you think for a final number? Because I'll let you reassess a little bit.
Okay, I'm gonna go with at least $1 million.
At least a mil.
Mm-hmm.
You said 800,000.
Yeah.
All right. I thought we were going to start out real low, and I was like, they're going to be so surprised. But you guys got your wits about you. You came in.
I said it from the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, what changed that though was the season pass thing. That changed the whole game.
But you should have thought about that. You should have thought about that.
Well, no, because I was like thinking maybe they shot and but then like again like there's no way to shoot that all in a day either.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, there's no way you shot it in one day.
You're being ignorant. You
all right, we'll get into all that. The budget was $650,000.
$650,000.
$650,000.
Oh, so I mean, a little bit over $500,000.
Man, you really swung.
I swung high after that. I was.
He's like, I'll add one more zero. You're like, I'll add a bunch.
I'll add another one.
All right, and so $650,000 box office. What do you think?
Didn't even go to the box office, did it?
What?
It did small theaters. So
okay.
Which we kind of had to give it away a little bit with that rating, and like
$80,000.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a good one. I was about to take your 80,000. I'll go 87,000.
So you're going a little over.
Yeah.
Good, you did. 171,000.
Nice.
God, they lost so much money.
Actually, almost 172,000. Sorry, 1,171,962.
Oh, thanks for clarifying.
171,962.
So they'd lost like $500,000, but gained memories.
And that's really what Disney's all about.
But they gained memories. But they'll never forget the time that they had to sneakily film.
Yeah.
For probably what was less than union pay.
And they all got drunk around the world.
Oh, yeah.
The whole cast.
They went and did the shoot, and then they went and changed clothes and went back and did drink around the world.
Yeah. That's why they had the shoot in Disneyland, because they were like, we got too drunk to film.
Will you explain for people who've never been to Epcot?
Oh, so drinking around the world, Epcot is broken up into like every area is a different country. So it's a giant circle, and so every time you enter the other area, it's a different country with different food, drinks, and shopping like stuff. and like every country has its own like drinks of origin or whatever, or and like so like you go to Germany, they got German beer. You go to Japan, they got Japanese beer. So like when you go to Epcot, the goal is kind of just to have a drink around the world, like a drink at every country. And you get fucking wasted, dog.
How many countries are there?
I want to say like 10.
10?
Yeah.
There's technically 196 in the world, but yes.
Yeah.
With four countries that are being argued over.
Yeah, but they just use the good
196
ones, dog.
beers?
Okay, so
I can do that.
196 beers.
I'm already back. Around the world and back in 30 days or whatever it is.
Around the world. Yeah.
So this film was produced
Sitting
by
on a cock 'cause I'm gay.
This film was produced by a company called Cineverse Corp that owns Shout Factory. They have a minority stake in the Dove channel, which is a faith-based channel.
Which minority?
Because
oh, it's so stupid.
when it comes to
Answer
money,
the man's question.
because when it comes to money, these people do not care. That's why you can own a horror thing and a faith-based thing. They own Con TV, The Film Detective, Screambox, Bloody Disgusting.
What's Bloody Disgusting?
That's like a top-tier horror content creation thing. They have zine and all kinds of different outlets. The El Rey Network, which they partner with Robert Rodriguez on.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
Cineverse also now is majority shareholder for Asian Crush.
Oh, why did you say that? Okay, so it was Asians.
The Bob Ross channel.
Bob Ross has a channel?
Apparently he does.
Nice. He deserves it.
This one I was surprised at. Comedy Dynamics.
Really? They own Comedy Dynamics?
We love this movie. It's so good.
Was it?
Yay.
Please book us.
Please book us. Comedy Dynamics is like one of the largest outlets for comedic materials. They have their own channel. They produce specials.
I thought it was like Boston Dynamics, but with quirky robots.
There's just like robots like, take my wife.
These last two, though.
I just did the robot. It was pretty sick.
For
it was
you
pretty
audio
good.
only people, Sean's doing the robot.
Shows in the robot.
Hey, check this out.
And if you don't like the
robot
Bitches
again.
be shopping.
These last two, though, are my absolute favorites. The Dog Whisperer channel.
Mm-hmm. Nice, dude. I didn't know he had his own channel.
Yeah, why are there just channels for people?
And last but not least, First Responders Network.
Oh, nice, dude.
Which I assume is like what they make them watch when they're on shift. I have friends that are paramedics. I'll ask them. Anyway, it's probably just first responder shows.
They're probably just watching Law and Order, to be honest.
Yeah. This movie was released in January of 2013 at Sundance, and then came out in theaters and direct to video on October 8th. So January in festivals, and then came out on everything on October 8th, but they did it simultaneously same day in 2013. So basically, at a time where it probably wasn't as profitable to split it, whoever they went with to do the video on demand version of it, they probably signed a contract thinking they were going to make some extra money that way, and it probably took away from whatever money they could have put into distribution advertising.
While freaking out because they're $500,000 under.
Yeah. Well, that's
so was that a way to get money back?
Well, that's the thing. They didn't even know they were $500,000 under because that was the day they released the theater. They put it out on video on demand the same day.
So then why?
Poor choices.
Poor choices,
Yeah. It sounds like...
Yeah, why would you want to do that in case it worked? Like, what would be the benefit?
Well, I'm going to guess that because they're so connected with all these networks, because they didn't own all this stuff in 2013. This is stuff they've accumulated over the last, 15 years. So I'm going to guess that they had some of that in the works, and they were probably able to get a pretty good deal in terms of, a contract signing for video on demand. And they were like, oh, this will be good for us. But there's still, all that effort they could have really, like remember when we talked about Cabin in the Woods?
Yeah.
How they just like took the gamble and they just went out and like literally went to like theaters and spoke to the managers and tried to get them to play their movie.
Right.
They didn't do that with this. They were like, yeah, we'll just put it on a video on demand, and then whatever we get theater-wise, we get theater-wise.
Look at that, lazy.
Fucking lazy, dude.
You know, they think
I mean, yeah, they just went on vacation, dude. They were still on vacation.
They're still on vacation.
They're like, oh, we're fucking... Dude, are you kidding me? We talked about pedophilia, and there was a sex scene, and then, there was violence. We're so cool, dude.
We're so cool.
We can do whatever we want, dude. We're on top of the world, man.
We're top of the world.
We're around the world. We're 13 beers in, bro. We just... We went from Germany to Mexico. It's like, get a hold of yourself. There's 196
They're like, what is
countries
this
out
movie about? He's like, what does it matter? We're in Japan.
Bro, what is a movie? Answer that first before you start talking. What? No, seriously, answer the question. What is a movie? Because you keep talking like you are the one directing, bro. This is my first movie.
You know
I'm
how
gonna be
hard
a
I
star.
worked for this?
No, but can you pour me another beer? I got, dude. I just please one more, dude.
Would you just hurry up and finish so we can go to Korea? Okay, so
And that was the end of his career.
Oh, Jesus Christ. There is no Korea, though. Like,
yeah.
What? You actually were like, if I can, like, you actually like, need to cut that shit.
yeah.
Okay, so
you look ridiculous right now.
As a former Disney employee, though, this hit kind of weird. Because I didn't know what to feel. At first, I was like, yeah, fuck Disney. And then afterwards, I was like, I don't want to side with these people.
Yeah. The whole time when he was following those girls, like, you know, this actually happens.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen this with my eyes. I'm like, you need to tell a supervisor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is actually a real problem in real life.
Yeah, this is a real problem in real life.
Which, for all we know, might have been part of the point they were trying to make.
That
Possibly.
did make it scary, actually. Some of the parts, I think, when he came back into the hotel, I was like, wait, did the wife leave?
Right.
And as a child of divorce, I was like, oh, God, I remember going to Disneyland as a family trip, and you know, on the way there, it was a bad trip. It started off horribly because we played an audiobook about the Columbine shooting.
What the? What are you serious?
Yeah, I swear.
What the fuck?
And I paused my Walkman to hear it. I was like, what is this about? Fucking, I just remember the teacher, like, she said, like, she had back problems afterwards because she was, like, hunched over and hiding in a cabinet.
Yeah.
The whole time, and I remember thinking, man, I hope Disney magic saves me from this. And it didn't, dude. I was every time we were in such a crowded area. I was like, I hope nobody has a gun.
What a pleasant thing for you to have right before going to the land of magic or whatever.
Yeah, interesting choice by my parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's great. That's great.
They're like, Disneyland's for you guys, but this one's for us.
You want to freak them out in the crowds?
So there's only two other films two other things that were ever shot in Disney and gotten away with.
Yeah.
Essentially, that weren't Disney related. One of them is Banksy's Exit to the Gift Shop documentary.
That's actually really good.
Yeah, and they actually they got into it with security there, and they were able to keep their footage.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember that.
That was I think it was 2010. And then someone shot a short film in the Haunted Mansion called Missing in the Mansion, which we should do a short film series at some point. It might be cool to do that. But Missing in the Mansion was a short film that was completed there, and they never took any action against them because obviously, you know, it's like it gets put out on YouTube, and you know, there's really no point in having it taken down unless you were to use like music from the Haunted Mansion, maybe that they could sue from.
Yeah.
If that's copywritten, but. So, yeah, those are the only two. This film, we're going to talk a little bit about how they were able to shoot this film, and it's actually extremely impressive. This is the thing.
That's the best part about it.
Yeah. Everybody who worked on this film probably deserves so much more money.
Except for the director and the writer.
Yeah. But everybody who did the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Editing wasn't bad.
I hate talking shit.
You know.
I hate talking shit. But
I'll say this.
Like,
no, you know
no,
what?
we're just being objective, though. It's not. It's just. It's convoluted. There's no actual plot.
They deserve their accolades. They deserve to be championed for the attempt.
Yeah.
The
for
final
sure.
product did not come out the way it should have. But
also, I do kind of get it. It's like how much can you really do?
Yeah.
You know, they're just kind of working with what they have.
Yeah, there was definitely the script could have been better. Or Joe Bob Briggs of The Last Drive-In always says when he meets people who make their own films and they want him to watch them, and he'll watch them, and he's always got the same note. He's like, they're always like, well, we didn't have any money, and he's like, that's never the problem. He's like, the problem is always the script. He's like, people will forgive so much of your production stuff. What they will not forgive is if it doesn't make sense or if it's not done well.
Yep.
Like, you can do a lot with the story that you can't do with CGI and stuff like that. So we're going to talk about some of the stuff they did to get this film made. They had to keep, it's crazy when you start to think about all the intricacies of what they had to do. Their phones had to be their scripts. Everything's on their phone, which is more common now than it was in 2013. But they had to rehearse everything in the hotel rooms because you can't get on location. You can't go to the set and then run lines. You can't multiple takes. You can't do, if you want to do a multiple take, you have to walk away and come back. And
What's my line? Oh, yeah, I'm standing in it for 45 minutes. What's my line? Look around you. You
I don't even know what that last part was supposed to be.
I fucking hated when I said that earlier.
just to add to the whole context of, they were going on vacation. So it says they went on 8 or 9 scouting trips to get the routes down for the shoot and like plan everything out.
Yeah,
I believe that for the first 2, maybe 3. I'll give you 3. I'll give you 3 times that you got to do that. The other 5 to 6.
I mean, Disney is pretty big, but also that makes the scouting trips even like longer. It's like you were just enjoying the park.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah, it's okay.
They were like, oh man, like I don't know about that magic that Space Mountain ride. I don't know if we could film it on it. Do you guys want to go on it again just to make sure?
I need to go back to Korea.
That was Japan. You racist.
That was Japan, dude.
But you did the whole the accent and everything.
The cast and crew, obviously the cast had to be dressed like tourists.
Mm-hmm.
But the crew also had to dress like tourists and pretend like they like were not filming them or they were together with them. Like, it's not, I don't know how exactly they went about it, but they had to dress as tourists and then film them. So it's crazy to think of those shots as happening in the middle of all that in the park.
Yeah.
Not just their acting. That part's hard enough to do. But they had to hold cameras like professionals, but they had to look like they were tourists, and they had to shoot these like professional cameramen. They had to shoot on Rebel. What was the model? I had it written down. Canon EOS 5D Mark II digital single lens reflex monochrome mode.
Oh, so that's an underrated piece.
It's literally just the most standard, like, it's like Consumer Pro. Like, you can take professional photographs with it, but it is consumer brand. Like, anybody can get a hold of it pretty easily. And they shot the whole thing in monochrome so that they could not have to worry about the like shadows and color and all that stuff like, nearly as much. Because if you shoot it in black and white, you know, it makes up for some of the.
Oh man, if I was on that crew helping to organize that, I would have crushed it. Yeah. I've been like, guys, what are you doing? You don't dress up as tourists. You dress up as Brazilian tour groups, and then you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. Yeah. When people
because there's so many Brazilian tour groups. Yeah, it's like
they just take over. Like
they take over. Yeah, there's so many of them.
They'll just go into like one of the restaurants there and just like you'd be at Universal with Jurassic Park, and then all of a sudden you're like, were there Brazilians in Jurassic Park? Like,
we lost Germany to the Brazilians.
No, but some of them did end up there after the war. Okay.
Yeah, they would. When I used to work at in MGM Studios, I would, or Hollywood Studios now they call it. I used to work right outside of the Star Tours ride, and they like came out of like a big group of them, like big group of like teenage Brazilian tour group came out, all threw their backpacks right into the walkway of the exit of the ride. And, like, just blocked everyone from being able to leave for, like, 10 minutes. It was hilarious.
I don't know if you ever tried to argue with someone that only speaks Portuguese, but it doesn't go great.
No.
Oh, Brazilians.
Don't get second start.
I actually think they're great, honestly.
They're great.
One of my best friends is Brazilian.
Yeah, who?
So, Jose.
Oh, okay.
That felt fake. Jose, if you're watching this, go ahead and
leave a comment.
Oh yeah, Jose is Brazilian. I forgot about that. Jose's cool.
All right,
so I can say whatever I want.
Nope.
I got something about Brazilians at Disneyland that I wouldn't know.
So they did have one incident where security caught up to them.
The Brazilians?
The filmmakers?
Oh, yeah.
They had one incident where security caught up to them, and security basically thought that they were like paparazzi stalking like a famous family or something.
Oh.
And the family had the family, in the movie,
the actors,
they had to pretend like, oh no, those are our friends. Like this is something like we're doing for our family. Like
yeah,
we're having them shoot this, and they had to like sell this idea that they just like have these other friends with them.
No, this is our wedding video.
Yeah, exactly, and they got away with it.
Yeah.
So, finally, the last thing to say about this that is pretty wild, and respect to this guy for this. He was so worried about Randy Moore is his name, the director.
Mm-hmm.
Writer director, yeah. He was so worried about Disney finding out about it and trying to shut down the movie. He took the footage and went to South Korea. Don't.
No, I'm not saying anything, dude.
I thought you were gonna
That's
be
not
like
very far.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say in Epcot. No, he went to South Korea with the footage, and that's also where they had all the CG work done by the same company that did The Host from 2006, which is like a pretty great Korean horror creature film.
Ooh.
Definitely check it out if you haven't seen that. It's really good.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. So that's the movie, man. Escape from Tomorrow. All overall, I'd say pretty fun. It was confusing and not great at points, but it is a fun watch.
There's definitely like highlights and some redeeming factors, and it is an impressive like production for sure.
It's a fun watch if you know what they were doing.
Yeah,
like
but without if I
yeah.
just showed you this on a whim, like you'd be like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Yeah.
You're like, but it was all shot in Disney. Did you not notice? And you're like, sure.
Yeah, they were. Wait, what? Why? Like, for the challenge, it's a write-off,
This movie's a write-off.
Yeah.
It should be called Escape from the IRS.
Escape from your payments tomorrow. Yeah. Escape from this quarter's earnings. Okay, so that was Escape from Tomorrow. We're gonna move on to Jaws 3 or Jaws 3D.
Woo!
So this film was released in 1983. It's 99 minutes. It's also first-time director and last-time director Joe Alves. I think the best way to intro this is just to let Sean tell you guys all about Jaws 3D. And from judging by his lack of confidence when I told him he'd be introducing the film, we'll be helping him out.
I'm scared.
We could have switched. I would have done Jaws.
No. I would have been equally as confused. Honestly. I was talking so much during these movies. It was they were both just so ridiculous for opposing reasons. But this one they had permission to shoot in SeaWorld. That's where this takes place.
Shot in SeaWorld Orlando.
Shout out Florida.
Don't say it with that tone. I didn't like that.
Yeah, we didn't like it.
Shout out Florida, dude.
You sound like a fucking radio host.
Shout out Florida. Yeah, it took place in Florida. Steven Spielberg was not involved with this movie
at all.
He didn't. I would have got him on here. Honestly.
He might have actively told them not to make it.
You're making a mistake.
Hey, I'll let you know this before we get to fun facts. You're getting warmer.
Whoa!
It's juicy, baby. It's juicy.
Ooh, I like this.
I've never seen. This is the first Jaws I've actually watched. So.
Crazy.
Dude, how wild is it to anybody in the audience? How wild is it to have someone's intro to Jaws be Jaws 3?
I was like, this is what the fuss is all about? This won Best Picture, movie it's SeaWorld where so you're introduced to these two characters, these two lovers. One is like, I think she's like the whale trainer, and the other guy does the handiwork, but he seems important. But he just does everything around there. He just fixes things. He's like Bob the Builder of the sea. And he and she are, feeding these dolphins, but they start getting scared because there's something wrong. There's a shark a-brewing, and it breaks through the gate. Oh, by the way, the sea park is connected to the ocean. Explain Florida.
Which doesn't make sense because Orlando is in the center of Florida and is an hour and a half drive to any beach.
35% of Florida is not accessible to the ocean.
And this is like that center in the middle.
The majority of Florida is accessible, and they pick the one place. There's a place called Marineland that's an hour away that is by the ocean. It's literally, you can stand in Marineland and look at the ocean. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, well, they probably were they're banking on people like me.
Who've never been to Florida.
That works. But yeah, so basically it was misinformation, and the shark breaks through this gate, gets into the park, and they find it, capture it, and again, let me just give this because I don't know if I'm going to be right 100%, but they capture it, and there's this whole debate about what to do with it. They end up being like, oh, we'll train it and rescue it because we're SeaWorld, man. That's what we do. We save animals. We save shit. Yep. We're good people. Fucking SeaWorld, dude. I love that shit. I'll live for this job, man. We're heroes. We're heroes. We're genuine heroes.
That's Dennis Quaid coked up the entire time.
He's like, man, listen, we're changing. We're making a freaking difference, dude. Fuck, get over here.
All right, so they catch the little...
Like, Dennis, you don't actually work for SeaWorld.
So they catch the shark.
They catch the shark, and then it turns out, oh, buddy, that wasn't even the real Jaws.
That's the fucking kid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that shark was already, like, girthy. So you can imagine how big the mom was. And
did they use the word girthy in the film?
I believe they did multiple times. They kept talking about the girth and how
you cover all that dialogue with fucking mama
go
shark.
Ahead, say that again.
No. You've soiled it.
I'm sorry.
No, it's good.
Sean called a shark girthy, and you ignored it and sang a song. Fucking girthy.
You did call it girthy.
No,
cool. But I didn't start doing when you said girthy. I started doing.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Because I will say one thing I have wanted to say during this entire vlog was sitting on a cock because I'm gay. Yeah, I love that.
We do have to credit
HBO's
funny people for that bit.
So, but essentially,
talking funny. Yeah.
I'll tag it in the comments.
The shark comes back and. I don't know. They like try and bait it out again with live bait, which was really dumb. They're like, there was this cocky British guy, and he was like, they're like, how are you going to make sure it gets so close? And he was like, that's because we're going to use live bait. Yes, filthy American. And he spit in her face.
Which I felt like was too much.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. 2 films where someone gets their...
Yeah, he was probably so mad about the War of 1812. And then he died. And then the shark ate him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what you get for fucking with America.
You still laughing now? Because there's nothing funny about death. And
now what ate him?
Oh, the shark.
Which shark?
The bigger one.
The mama.
Mama bear.
Yeah.
Mama bear shark.
So, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. What? How did they get the mom? I fucking forget. I kind
of remember.
I don't remember.
Well, the mama shark starts. The mama shark's pissed.
Yeah.
So she
killed
him.
She pulled a Mel Gibson from Ransom.
She would be. She was like,
back my son.
She was like, I had to drive an hour and a half to get here from the beach. She's like, I'm pissed.
Yeah. She's like, oh, you motherfuckers gonna get eaten now.
You gonna get eaten now.
Yeah. The shark wreaks havoc. Is it the baby shark that wreaks havoc on the boating show thing, or is that the mama shark? I forget.
It was hard to follow.
Doesn't
I mean, yeah, I do remember them like destroying up SeaWorld a little bit.
The plot here is so inconsequential. Just know that there's a great scene of a shark just going after people doing a synchronized boat show.
Yeah.
With like the skiers behind the boats and everything, and Dennis Quaid going, "Get out! Get out!" and everybody's like, "What?"
Fun fact: I think I saw Pitbull in that stadium.
Fun fact. We have other fun facts, I promise.
Yeah.
Anyway, so at one point the shark attacks the underwater section of the park, which has like tubes that you can walk around underwater and look at all the fish.
Which does not exist.
Which does not exist, and you will not go see.
But there is like something similar, but
but it's not an underwater separate.
Yeah, it's
park.
not under the lake in SeaWorld, but there's like an aquarium part where you can go underneath the tanks.
But this one did a full complex, and the mama shark starts attacking the thing. It starts like biting the fucking glass tube.
Yeah,
and springs a leak. It traps some of the people, and they have to get those people free. And then the shark, at one point, they get into an area where the shark is, and they try to get the shark to leave, and eventually one of them has a grenade,
and
the shark eats that person, but it's stuck like in its mouth, and he's sitting there with a grenade in his hand that he hasn't lit off yet, and they have to take a little stick and reach it into the mouth, pull the pin Leah Thompson is getting attacked by the shark, and she's just patting it, batting it. She's like, no. She's just giving a little boop in its nose,
Yeah.
letting it know bad shark. And then Dennis Quaid has to hook it with a little stick and pulls the pin, and they both swim away. And then the 3D Jaws explodes into pieces, coming right at you.
Yeah, that's why I don't remember the end of the movie, because the end of the movie was just 3D. That's just what it was. That was the. And there's like, and then here's how we end the movie. What's the conclusion? 3D shit. You just see an arm fly onto the screen, and I'm like, okay.
Most accurate part was the very accessible grenades that you can find anywhere in Florida.
Well, they did bring in the grenades.
Who died?
That's not wrong, huh?
Who died? Who was the guy that got eaten? I don't remember that.
I don't know. Like we said, you feel nothing for these people. In this movie.
I will say, as much as I hated Escape from Tomorrow, I do actually, now that I'm like, we were going over the movies, like, okay, I could have done a better job with that movie. At least there was more memorable parts, because this was like, when I was talking, I was just making fun of it for being so
fucking
bad.
boring.
It was.
Yeah, it's not just bad; it's boring.
Yeah, it's boring.
And it's weird when you just see him and it's funny that you said he was coked up the whole time, because you just see the enthusiasm he brings to these It's like, you don't need this scene. He's just running around doing shit. Like, he's just flipping over doing parkour, and you're like, dude, it's not needed. Just make a phone call. Just make a phone call. You don't need to do these flips.
Yeah.
You weld.
Yeah, he was so.
Oh, well, he was he was an underwater welder, right?
Yeah, he welded.
Yeah.
The what did he I saw him welding.
No, he was one of the fish trainers.
Oh, he was a trainer?
One of the trainers. I mean.
One of those
no, he
trainers?
was doing so much more. Don't
was
do
he?
that.
Was he welding?
I feel like I saw him with a wrench at one point.
Well, Dennis Quaid was so coked up during filming that when asked about this film in 2015, he said, "Wait, I was in a Jaws movie."
That's so dope. That's so dope.
And then it came back to him, and he was basically like, "Oh man, I don't remember any of it, and almost certainly every scene you see me in, I was on drugs for sure."
That is so awesome.
He was actually so coked up one night that he, during one of the bar scenes, one of the extras was asking Leah Thompson, the female lead, was asking her for an autograph, and they were engaged. They actually started dating on the set and got engaged. So
they found love in a hopeless place. Jaws 3D. Instead of Jaws 3D.
Yeah.
I guess if you have any sort of connection in that place that's devoid of it, you'll fall in love.
Well, so he.
Wait, they eventually divorced, I assume, right? Are they still together?
So,
That's so funny.
I didn't check. I'll be honest.
He's like, I could never watch Jaws 3 the same.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
Don't you dare put on Jaws 3D, and everyone's like, we're not.
Yeah, everybody's like, we would never.
We'll not put that on.
They made it through this pile of shit, but couldn't make it through their marriage.
So he got in a fight with an extra.
Oh, it's just like my parents' divorce.
That's so funny.
Right, stop trauma dumping both of you. Jesus Christ.
She should have seen that coming. You don't marry the guy who tries to fight an extra while he's coked up on the set.
And
That's love.
all he did was ask for an autograph too, which is a faux pas. You're not supposed to do that on set, but like, it's pretty like.
Jack Quaid was like, "Let's go, bro."
Yeah, I don't know if it's
that extra was just probably some dude who like lived in Florida and didn't know the rules.
Yeah,
that's probably it.
So the 3D...
he's gonna learn them.
Yeah. I come here from LA to fucking beat up you Hicks.
Yeah.
You fucking Orlando Hicks.
You think you're all a bunch of cool guys?
Why have a theme park in my hometown?
So normally when you release a 3D movie, you have a 2D version that you release and a 3D version that you release separately.
They didn't have that.
In this, they just, when they released the regular version, which is just called Jaws 3, because there's no D to it, they didn't fix any of it. There's no 2D version of Jaws 3D. You just watch the 3D movie.
Bro, even the font pissed me off, dude. The font was like all stretched in the back.
Yeah.
Oh God, I just can't.
And so when you're watching it, you're like, oh, did I get the wrong version or something? No, they never released a regular 2D version.
That's
was
crazy.
this like right when 3D was like first being introduced?
No, so this is
that's even sadder.
So the history behind
I thought that was like, at least if it was they're the first 3D and they're like, dude, this shit's amazing. This is the future. Yeah. This is the future of movies. Holy shit, dude. We got to make this the whole movie. This is the ending.
They actually shot a bunch of it on 1950s 3D because the 3D was invented brought out in the 50s.
What?
Mm-hmm.
And it used to be a way to get people to go see all these low budget sci-fi movies. And they'd go like, oh, we'll put a little bit of the 3D to it to make it more exciting because obviously like the script and like, you know, the acting, like people aren't coming for those reasons. You know, you're going up against like classic films back then. Yeah. So the only way to make it interesting, you know, you give people, a little spice in there, right? Yeah. So they hadn't really updated 3D since then, but partway through filming, like early on in the movie, there was a new 3D that came out and they brought in those cameras. So that's why some of that 3D in there it literally just looks like composite where you see the outline of it. Yeah. It's not even like a 3D problem. It's like it's so old that it's like 1950s compositing 3D.
Why did they do this? Why did they make it 3D so hard?
So in the 1980s, because of the new cameras coming out, everybody knew that in the industry, and they go, oh, we can start to capitalize on that a little bit. There was a slew of 1980s 3D movies. I'm just going to name just a couple that are horror related. The biggest ones, horror wise anyway, were of course Jaws 3D, but also Amityville 3D, which we cover Amityville in episode 1. So imagine you just watched this movie about this real life tragedy, and now there's the third installment for some reason is in 3D.
Jesus Christ!
About these ghosts and shit.
Watch Butch DeFeo slaughter his family for the 15th time in 3D.
3D.
Butch DeFeo's like, this is pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know about the murders, but I'm down for the 3D thing.
Yeah, he's in jail. He's like, this is way cooler than what I did.
He's rewatching his own murders. Yeah. He's like, oh,
He's like, he's in the inmate next. Just literally how it looked like for me,
dude. It's like I'm back in it.
Well, their blood like literally hit me in the face.
It was like that, but more real.
So,
so the one that's the most fitting because it's about a fictional murder, or fictional murders. And, is meant to be a little campy, unlike what Jaws should have been. Friday the 13th Part 3 was 3D.
Yeah.
There was also a slew of, like, Piranha and stuff like that. Like, the 80s had a lot of movies where they did this, but those were the ones that were, like, the most notable horror-wise, anyway.
Did they ever make a Nightmare on Elm Street 3D? Because I feel like
I don't think so.
If any of them should have been 3D, like Freddy Krueger kind of makes the most sense.
3 would have been a fun one to see in 3D.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the 3D craze that was coming out then was sort of, the 80s was, especially the early 80s, the campy kind of like fun stuff. I mean, it really wasn't that different of an idea of like it was in the 50s, Do we need to? Is it going to be okay?
Yeah, good. Sure is good. Aren't you a producer?
I swear to God, if he tries to jump over those wires, dude.
He's plotting.
He's plotting, dude. He's plotting.
Fuck you up, dude. You go back the way you came, you fuck.
No,
idea what to do.
No,
dude.
No.
There you go.
Yeah, that's right.
Christ.
As you were saying.
Sorry, our producer had to check some wires.
Yeah.
The dolphin in the film has the real life name of Capricorn and is still alive. He's 62 years old. Lives in Discovery Cove.
Oh, the dolphin?
Yeah.
Nice.
I asked the dolphin about the movie. He's like, I was on so much fucking dolphin
I was on
coke.
so much coke.
And he
Dude, is anybody going to let me out of here at some point?
Yeah.
Just
Can I go home?
He actually is not allowed to leave because he's a bit of a rapist. Okay.
I'm from the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
I want to leave.
I'm so chill, dude. Let's see.
Just trying to have a good time.
Oh, here's the original pitch for this movie was going to be called National Lampoon's Jaws 3 People Zero.
That's
you're lying. No,
fucking
you're lying.
hilarious.
No, this is,
I don't believe you.
Real.
I don't believe you. That was just literally the
No,
fake
it's
shit.
real. And guess who was going to direct it? Joe Dante from The Burbs.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Joe Dante, who we cover in Elvira, Mistress of the Dark versus The Burbs.
It probably would have been better, actually. Maybe they would have leaned into it more.
Yeah, right?
And this is 83, so he's still, he's like fairly fresh.
Is Chevy Chase going to be in it?
Dude, that'd be so
It'd be so great.
The guy who does the voice of Squidward, I believe, was gonna be signed on. So that's fun. I don't know why or how that wound up in there. So Spielberg not only flat out rejected the script and the idea, but also said that he would walk and do everything in his power to make sure that film never got made. Like he wasn't a no. He was a I will burn this place to the fucking ground.
Looks like Spielberg wasn't all that powerful though.
Oh,
what do you mean?
Yeah.
Whoa, because they still made it.
Looks like he.
Yeah, he just said you guys can't make it a National Lampoon movie. You can't make it a literal spoof. Nobody came to him and went, "Hey, okay, no spoof. We're gonna make it dog shit, though." You know what I mean? Like they were just like, "We're gonna make a movie."
Deal.
Yeah. Yeah. So there was a lot of people who did actually, at least crew-wise, who had worked on the other Jaws films.
Yeah.
But no one from the previous films were in this film. I mean, there's characters that rolled over, which were the brothers, the Dennis Quaid and his younger brother. Those are actually characters that are getting used in each film.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mm.
So that's a weird.
Hey, that was a weird dynamic between the two brothers. They were like both holding his wife or whatever.
So weird.
Like the marine biologist lady. They both had their arms around her.
Lots of like upside down pineapple behavior,
For sure, yeah. Yeah, they were like, it's Florida.
Yeah. They were like, hey, you guys want to hit the Villages after this?
Yeah, this is Orlando, not the Villages. Relax. If you haven't seen the documentary about the Villages, don't.
There's a documentary?
Oh, yeah, you didn't know about this?
I didn't know about this. I just know what the Villages
He
is.
just
I
went.
grew up in Florida. Yeah.
The Villages, where if you do a comedy show there, they don't want you to say bad words, but they all go home and fuck each other's neighbors.
Yeah. They don't want you to say bad words, but you're allowed to say racial slurs.
Supposedly, I couldn't find anything that was factual about. I mean, not factual, but something to back this up. But I did see a blog post that said that John Hughes was going to be the writer for the original spoof version of this. So that would have been really weird and interesting to see.
I like how it's like Jaws 3 People 0.
That's so funny.
You keeping score in the title, dude?
They're like, don't count them out though. It's only halftime. People down by 3, but it's anyone's game.
Well, the best part is the guy who.
Oh, when the shark takes off another man's head.
No, that could be all said and done for his game.
The guy
I don't think you won't be seeing him in Jaws 4, People 0.
The guy who did write the screenplay for this, though, he was actually really upset. He was like, "No, this is like their fault. Like I gave them a good outline.
Yeah.
Like He's like, I did my job.
Yeah.
Bullshit, bro.
Oh, and shout
I
out.
can't imagine it being so good though. He's like, dude, it was so. I'm telling you right now, they ruined it.
They ruined it.
Yeah,
it was so sick. The 3D just worked.
Yeah, it was like It was like the words were coming off the page.
Dude, I'm telling you, it was like a different font and everything. He would have loved it.
And it was all composited and moving. Yeah. Yeah, it's such a funny thing to even go to bat over. It's like, dude, just take the L.
Yeah,
don't even. Just change your name.
Yeah,
I'm not that guy.
Start denying that you were even involved, dude.
Yeah, who was the director? He had the right idea. He's like, I just quit.
Yeah.
Oh,
just give up.
And
you lost.
Yeah, he is like, I'm done. I'm never trying this shit again.
I fucked up, man. I fucked up.
The infamous growl. The shark growl.
Oh my God.
Guys, the sharks don't growl. They're underwater, and they're not bears. I think that's the biggest takeaway from this.
Yeah.
Sharks are not bears.
No.
I love the amount of coke that was involved with her.
Because I would be in the I would pick being in the woods with a shark over a bear.
Yeah, because it can't move.
Or the sea. Wait, a bear in the sea,
shark.
Or a bear in the woods.
Oh, a bear will fuck you up on either plane.
For sure.
No, you were saying you'd rather have a shark in the woods.
No. It's a play on the would you rather be stuck in a woods alone with a man or stuck in the woods with a bear?
No, I know.
I'd rather be stuck in the woods with a shark.
Yeah, but I'm saying now, would you rather be stuck in the woods with a shark or in the sea with a bear?
I'm gonna go ahead and stop this.
I'd rather be stuck in the woods with a shark. It's still the same answer because a shark can't breathe outside of the water.
Shark with an oxygen tank. Water tank.
A water tank? Still a shark because he would have to get out of the tank.
No.
Am I in the tank with him?
I didn't really think this through.
This does have the guy in a lot of 80s and early 90s movies, but the guy who played the coordinator of SeaWorld, he's in Iron Eagle, a great series of films about fighter pilots in the late 80s, early 90s. Him and he's a black gentleman, and his nephew, he refers to him as in the film, that works in the control room that's attacked by the shark. I think that brings our black person in movies total. It's episode 7, and I think we're at about 8 people that are African American or black kind. So another wonderful critique of the 80s when somebody says
Puerto Ricans.
Well, that's not true. We don't know that.
Yeah, well, when we get to the Addams family, then we'll be 1.
Hey, good
anyway,
shit.
So when people do that whole thing where they're like, "Oh, what's with all these movies?" Because we've watched 14 movies.
Yeah, we have watched 14 movies. Holy shit, we've watched 14 movies.
And there's been 8 black people in the entire cast.
That's crazy.
Oh, man. So
let's rank them.
Well,
rank the movies?
Yeah, this is Sean's way of found an angle so we can pop. I'll be racist. You guys don't be racist.
That's sort of yeah. No, hold on. I never specified what we're ranking.
Yeah, no.
No, you did it, and that's what made me concerned.
Very concerned.
What I really wanted to say though was about the shark growling. Because I thought it was funny that they were all coked up and they were just thought, dude, but how fucking hard would it be if this shark growled? And they're like, just intimidate. He'd be such a boss.
It'd be funny. Dennis Quaid just gets coked up and he goes, "Make the shark growl or a walk."
Yeah. They're like, Dennis, sharks don't growl. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm in the ocean all the time. Yeah. I hear them growl all the time.
The shark's all coked up as a. This is wiggling.
I can growl. I can growl. You give me. I'll growl.
Yeah. Is that shark
okay, give me your microphone. I'll record it myself right now.
Anyway, so we're gonna close out on the RT scores and budget for Jaws 3D.
Here we go.
So let's go ahead and start with Rotten Tomatoes. What do you guys think the critic score was for Jaws 3D?
40%.
Okay.
30.
30?
Yeah.
Okay. And what do you think the audience scores were? You said 40 and 30, right?
Yeah, 40.
Okay. And what do you think the audience score was?
40.
I'm going to go with 50.
Ooh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I think audience might have, at the time, probably enjoyed the 3D aspect.
Okay. Craig's score is 11%.
Jesus Christ. How did this get a lower score than Escape from Tomorrow?
Well,
Everyone knows about it.
It was the third installment of a very popular series.
That's true.
And had national distribution from a major company. This is a Universal movie shot at SeaWorld.
Fucking turncoats.
Yeah. Move back to England, you fuck.
You go back to England, you fuck.
The audience score was 17%. So
we were so generous.
I think everyone lost on this one. You know? It's not a numbers thing anymore. It's the fact that people had to watch this movie.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, it was real bad.
It's funny as shit. So get high. And
it's
watch
very
it with
funny.
Your friends.
Yeah.
But
I don't remember why, but it was
because it's just so goofy.
It's goofy as fuck.
Like
it's so goofy.
They speed up the frames when the real shark is there because they want it to look more menacing, but it just looks like fast forward. It doesn't look like a shark moving any faster. It just goes. It's so stupid. And then when they show the prop shark, it's so clearly a prop shark.
Yeah,
The shots are rough. What do you think the budget was?
fucking like
$50 million.
$50 million.
I was genuinely gonna say like 46 million. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be
million.
around there.
$18 million.
Wow.
Really?
Not. I mean, it's extremely impressive to make that for $18 million.
Yeah.
Because it does look like they spent way more, right? I mean,
you know, the park tickets, the meals, the drinks.
Well, they paid Dennis Quaid and Coke.
Yeah.
They paid the whole cast and crew and Coke. Because it was 1983.
Dude, I want to be famous enough to do drugs and not remember being in movies. That's so cool.
Yeah, that's a wild. That's a very 80s thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wake up like for one day and they're like, you're in Jaws 3. I'm in what?
I'm in what?
Yeah. He's really just living in the moment.
Yeah.
You look at him. You look at his performance in that god awful movie, and you're like, man, that guy.
That guy, yeah. Honestly,
he goes by the beat of his own drum.
he goes so much harder than everyone else. It's crazy. He's like the short guy playing basketball. Like, he's also all over the fucking court.
He's also far and away the most famous person in that movie.
Yeah.
So he's acted his ass off 10 times. You know,
yeah,
10 times
he's like, I'm burying you, bitches.
Catch up. All right. And finally.
No, the fuck the big 3D. It's just big me.
Hell yeah, dude.
All right. And finally, what do you think the box office was?
Quaid Dot.
Quaid Dot.
Quaid Dot.
That is Quaid Dot.
Certified.
He's like, can you make the shark go whop, 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 whop?
Like, the movie's been done and out for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
Write it again.
You don't think I can make them put it in?
All right,
Dennis fucking Quaid.
Dennis
All right,
Quaid.
Here we go.
Wait.
Box office for Jaws 3D.
Yeah, let's go. I think it made money. I'll be straight up.
You think it made money?
I'm going to say the same exact number then. 46 million this time. Actually, 56 million.
Ooh, okay, 56
I'm
million.
going to say 50 million, mainly because I think it made money just on like name recognition alone. Okay. It's got that Marvel effect.
Yeah.
Especially back in the 80s, I think word didn't travel as fast that it wasn't good.
Yeah.
So they have more time to catch up. $88 million.
I knew it. I should have gone even higher.
So they made a ton of money on this dog shit movie.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
It's one of those, like you said, word didn't travel as fast. Yeah. It's one of those movies that, like, opening weekend, they made enough to they made more than enough to make back their money. So.
By the time they realized it was already too late.
Yeah. There's some executive on a pile of money like, fucking idiots.
Can you imagine just hordes of people across the U.S. just going, what the fuck? Just fucking talk shit. It's so bad. I don't give a shit. I normally, I'm the guy that I support artists even in their attempts that don't come out, because I support you attempting to make a good thing.
Yeah.
And I think the actors in this movie did what they could with what they had to work with. But the people that made this movie, to not know that this was going to come out so fucking bad, is wild.
I just like the idea of like Hollywood exec that just like knows he got one over on people, and he's just like, I even took a shit in a couple of the VHS tapes, sent them off.
This,
we made $88 fucking million.
$88 million. These people are fucking idiots.
I like what they did to Spielberg. They were like, all right, we're going to make it funny, but don't tell him. We're just going to make it absurd.
It made $88 million, Steve. You don't know movies.
Takeaways for this film, definitely, do not go to SeaWorld in Orlando and think that you can just go to the beach. You have to drive an hour and a half.
It's so dumb. Oh, that's the dumbest part of the movie.
Yeah. If you would like to go to SeaWorld, that's fine. I would recommend just go to Universal Studios.
Yeah.
It's more fun. Disney and SeaWorld are overrated.
Yeah, after Blackfish, SeaWorld just became a lawless land. They just let you walk into the fast pass line without even checking. No one's even watching. No one cares.
They just let you jump right into a killer whale's mouth. They don't even check if you want to kill yourself.
They're like, whatever, man.
Anyway, it was still. Yeah. I gotta say, it's that this one was so bad that it was fun. The other one was fun because you're interested in how they could have pulled this off.
Yeah,
and and you kind of know going in about that movie. You know. But, Jaws 3D is funny because it's like, how did you have access to $18 million and not pull something better off? It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's almost impressive.
Yeah.
It's impressive that they, were able to flip that.
Steven Spielberg made Jaws in his cave with a box of scraps and a broken mechanical shark. So fuck you, Joe Alves. Unless you're gonna make a movie anytime soon, Oh, cast us. Okay.
Yeah, I'll be in it.
The Return.
Mm-hmm.
Well, boys,
Return of the King.
I think we did it. Another one down.
You should do that every time.
Baby.
Yeah. I started it last time and I really liked it.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on, one more.
Nice. You see that?
On behalf of myself, Zach Bennett,
Ray Reyes, baby,
and Sean Dolan,
and our producer Turner.
Wait.
And our producer Turner. Oh man, yeah, he's so cute. He's gonna be the reason we go viral. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Join the Patreon if we have that out by now. And check out old episodes if you haven't seen them yet. We got a bunch of fun stuff out, and we look forward to seeing you back here next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
A man getting bit by an alligator screaming. Swallow this.